My parents worked each and every day. When my mom came home on a Thursday, she said she was tired. She was dead that Saturday. She was born at charity and died at charity. I tell people my parents raised us to be hardworking individuals, told us the value of education, to respect other people, go to church, pray to God. My mother also taught us that if you violate the Bible, you go to hell. You disobey the Constitution, you go to jail. But anyone in the family, she said, if you disobey my rules, you're going someplace where God won't send you and the jail won't find you. Meaning she would put us in our grave if we disrespected her. But it's our value system. We need to talk about our values. Common sense tells you act with honor, act with integrity. How can you look at the budget and not think of all of the young kids in this society who needs a proper education? And how can you look at the budget and not think about the men and women that you sent in harm's way to protect our country, and here they're back on the streets and can't find a job? You send them to Iraq, you send them to Afghanistan. When they come home, give them a job, give them a life so they can use those skills to build their lives back up. And give them some health care while you're at it. Here's the dirty little secret in American politics. We have enough money to not only balance our budget, but to invest in our communities, invest in our infrastructure, invest in education, invest in health care, invest in energy. We have enough money. It's our priorities. See, I'm talking like my dad. Ammunition. See, ammunition. And then I went out and got a couple guns. I had $3 left and said, well, honey, this is what we're going to eat off today. Oh, hell no. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to figure out how to balance our security needs with our emotional and spiritual needs so that we can have a thriving society. Because, you know, one of the blessings I have is at Georgetown, when some of the students are not feeling well and they're figuring like, well, I'm not going to make it, they all say, go see Donna Brasile. Oh, I have it on my door. Hope. Come on in. Sit down. And an hour, sometime less, sometime more, doesn't matter. Oh, we restore some hope now. I said, we cooking with grease, huh? Come on, baby. Because you came here talented. And over the last 18 years, you've been beaten down and told that you can't do this, you can't do this. I want to know what you like to do. I like to garden. When I'm not on TV, when I ain't in the classroom, I'm a gardener. I'm a good one at that. The little things I grow in my garden, Clarence told us if he came and got some of my tomatoes, we'd have a whole different Supreme Court. Donna, forward. He's looking at the future, and I'm pushing him fast. Don't come back, baby. We don't need that anymore. Society, we settled that question. Yes, I can vote now. Thank you. Next question. Comment. Oh, look at this. I'm being told I got less than a minute. Y'all like Anderson Cooper. Sprang out the lung of his boot. That's all right. Hi.
Why don't you have your own humor program?
Well, first of all,
Prince Brazil, you could change. You could change the world with that humor.
I agree with that.
I listen to you and the wonderful program that you have, but your gifts, you probably have a relationship with the president. And that job changes people. When I read The Audacity of Hope, I hoped as everyone in this room hoped. Hearing you, I can feel him in my heart again. I can hear his words. speak to him as you have spoken to us today.
Thank you. Well, let me say this on a personal note. You know, I mentioned my age, I'm 52, but I was a little kid who had a dream. I just wanted to help change the world. Right there from the doorsteps of my parents' home in Kenner, Louisiana. I was born in New Orleans and raised in Kenner. And when my mother would often say to me, what do you want to do when you grow up? I say, you know, I just want to be a grown-up. She got that. And then, you know, years later when I was, you know, in my 20s and had an opportunity to work for people like Coretta Scott King and Reverend Jackson and Shirley Chisholm and Bella Abzug and Geraldine Ferraro and Walter Mondale. I can go on and 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 on. I've been very blessed in my life. At the height of Hurricane Katrina, when most people were still just pointing fingers, I wrote a letter to the editor of the Washington Post, and I said, Mr. President, he was George W. Bush at the time, can I help you? I offered myself, my service, because I wanted to help my hometown. I wanted to help my family. And I knew I could help my family, but I was worried about my community, my hometown. And so for 3 years of my life, they were the most humbling years. I went over and worked with George W. Bush. Didn't vote for him, didn't support any of his policies. But on this one area, this one issue, the recovery of my hometown, I found common ground. Now, I'm going to say something to you that I hope you understand. Over the last 3.5 years, I have watched, and in many ways with horror, and I don't use that word often, but I've watched as Republican after Republican after Republican, and very few Democrats have said to this president, no, I will not help you. No, I will not help this country. I'd much rather see you out of the White House before I see America get ahead. And so, I know this sounds, but this is what I often tell the president, because he gets emotional. He's like a younger brother to me. I was there in 2004 when a group of us advocated for then Barack Obama to speak. I was there when he came to Washington, D.C., when he was still with the cigarettes. He said, hey, no, don't smoke in front of me. I gave that up. Okay, I go back. And I've watched him grow and mature. But yet every time I see the President and First Lady, especially the First Lady, the first thing they reach out, keep us in your prayers. I've never seen anything like it in my life, the number of threats and all of the vitriol and the vileness. So my being is one of protection. I want to protect the first family as human beings because I love them. And then I want to, and this is not just about partisanship, you know, this is about America. This is about who we are as a country and where we're going in the 21st century. So I often hear my prayers, you know, as a Catholic, as, you know, whatever we can do, because, you know, as Catholics, we get our script, we read it. I give my Baptist prayers too, my Episcopalian prayers, and my Presbyterian prayers. They get shorter each day. But I often just tell him, Mr. President, when you've done all you can do, just stand. And we have your back. So, one of the reasons why I'm still on television and not working in the White House is because the president gave me a choice. He did. He said, are you coming in or are you going to stay out? I said, it's best if I stay out. I said, you need some people outside the gate that know how to organize. Who ain't afraid. I chose to stay out. But let me tell you, with these two eyes and this big heart, Dr.